Welcome to the Queue. I've had a subscriber ask a question a little bit ago, and I didn't see it at first. Then I stumbled across it, and he was asking where he could find the BBR Axis and Allies game. He's checked with his local game stores, and he can't find it. They don't know anything about it. And then it occurred to me, maybe sometimes I guess I assume people that are watching these videos also watch Sirebud's videos, that kind of thing, so they are getting the same information from several different sources. So maybe they know that BBR isn't really a game for sale in a store per se, but it's basically a house rule of Global 40 with a rule set, rule book, some player aids to help you get through that, but you can't really buy it at a store. So I thought maybe I should step back and go over a few of the games that I do mention, here, and just explain where you can find the rules, and none of these, I would say none of them. The Global War game is for sale, through Historical Board Gaming, but those are probably, I'll go through a couple here that I mention a lot, and just to kind of clear the air, and so we're all on the same page. And before I get there, though, it looks as if Axis and Allies 1914 may have gone dark. A guy in a chat today posted, "Hey, why on eBay are these going for $300 or more?" And we can't really find them. They're not on Amazon anymore. I found a couple sites that have them listed, but they're all sold out. So I'm wondering if they've gone out of production, and kind of quietly in the night, which would be sad because it's a pretty good game. If you happen to see one, in your local game store or wherever, you might want to grab onto it. Even if you have it, maybe you could sell it later, or maybe they just haven't produced these in a while and they're going to be out of stock for a little bit. Maybe that's the panic, but right now I don't think we know, unless you know. And if you do, leave a comment and we can start spreading the word that, hey, this game's not gone. But it sure looks like it might have gone the way of Anniversary. I don't know if you recall a few years back when I first discovered that there was different Axis and Allies game other than Classic. The Anniversary had come and gone, and that at that time I bought Europe and Pacific and put them together for Global, and that was that was really fun. That's still my most favorite game. But the Anniversary Edition was only on the eBay sites and that kind of thing, and they were wanting $400, $500, $600. It's like, man, that must have been some game. But then it came back into reprint, and is this a dirty corporate trick to do the same thing with this one? Don't know. But if you were thinking about getting it and you see it, you better grab it. Let's look at these games, house rule games that I frequently just talk about and just assume everyone knows. So here are the four house rule type games that have sprung up from Axis and Allies that I'll be referencing in a lot of videos that I do, in addition to the house rule videos. So I'll start off with the most popular and well known, the Global War series from Historical Board Gaming. And you can go on their website and purchase items for the game. You can't buy the game itself. And a lot of people that do videos that I watch, that are doing videos on Global War, they kind of, I don't know, they have an attitude towards Axis and Allies, like, I don't really care for that game, this is a much better game. So it's kind of a weird vibe that you get. And the interesting thing to that is when you try and play Global War, they recommend that you have Axis and Allies Europe and Axis and Allies Pacific for the pieces to play the game. But anyway, they started out with a 39 game. Then they came out with a 36 game that starts 3 years earlier. Then they went to a version 2 of that. And here in a couple weeks, version 3 is coming out. And I'll do a video on that when I get that, because I've pre-ordered that, and all the player aids that come with it, and I've got some expansions. So we're gonna play that here and see how that goes. But when you buy their game on their historical board gaming website, you're actually just buying the map. And you buy the map, they have some player aids, an income tracker, production chart, research. They got different ones that you can buy. And then the rule book itself, I printed these out and put them into a binder. And, it's pretty thick. You can see how thick they are. So there's a lot of rules. It's a very lengthy game, but it's fun. It's a game you got to leave set up. You don't really play all at once just because of the time involved. But like I said, I mentioned Global War throughout these videos. That's exactly what I'm referencing. The one that started the need for this video, BBR, which is Bloodbath Rules. Sired Blood came up with that 2 years ago. Not exactly sure when he started working on it, but there was a Bloodbath tournament 2 years ago in the LA area, south of LA, and it's a rule set that he had worked on with the guys that he plays with out there. So they came up with these rules, had them for the tournament. Through the tournament play, through suggestions from players in the tournament, from things that he saw going on, came up with a 2.0 per se. So he's got a new map that came out for the last tournament, which was last September, which would have been September of 2019. It's a little different. A few of the rules changed a little bit, but he's got it to a point where he's come up with a rule book, which is nice. Very good rule book. It has all the Global 40 rules and the rules for Bloodbath, the BBR series. The latest thing he's come out with is a setup for BBR 1942, which is basically a shorter version of the game, for those who want to do it in a less amount of time. The BBR 40 game, is set up to do 8 rounds in the tournament. The BBR 42 game is set up for 5 rounds, with those same victory conditions. So, 3 less turns, could be quite a few less hours. It's a good game. Like I said, it's not a game you buy. It's a game that you collect the components to. Sired Blood, he put out a website in December, siredblood.com, and he opened it up, but there were some bugs, so he closed it down to work on and get those out. But the idea is on that site, in addition to a forum, there'll be also a way where you can order the rule book, you can order some of the player aids, the playing, not the playing cards, the rule deck cards with all the objectives, victory conditions, special rules for special units. You can buy that at makingplayingcards.com. So that's separate from his website. So you can get that, and really, if you get his map and you get that card deck, that's really, you can play with that. It's a lot easier if you have some of the other aids, like the victory tokens, the technology tokens, and those things, from my understanding, it will be coming soon.
when that website is up and running. And then, of course, he'll need to have the time to make such things, because because everything that he has there, he makes in his shop. So it's a good game. It's a great set of house rules. I've been playing it for 2 years now. Got the 42. We're getting together to play several days worth of 42 to work through those rules here shortly. That should be a good time. The other 2 games pretty much are, you can get these from Grasshopper's, Young Grasshopper's section. Actually, I think it's the Cliffside Bunker section on AxisandAllies.org. And the one that I've done extensive playing was this Deluxe 40 game. You can go on there. There's a special thread for the Deluxe 40, and you can print off the handbook and the rules. And it's not quite done. I mean, there's still tweaking going on and different stuff. And the map that's here is the global, not global, but the Deluxe 40 map. And it is by far my most favorite map of all the maps I have. And I really enjoy playing on it. The other one that he has, well, the Deluxe 40, I should say, is more like the Global 40 setup version. The map is similar to that. The setup, it's a little different in this game. It uses an 8-sided die, so there's a little bit of extra units, some house ruled units. Makes it really fun. The other version, as I was getting ready to say, the 1941, and he calls that the Academy Edition. And that is pretty much a house ruled version of Anniversary. Got a map for it as well, and it has a little bit of tweaking to it, some adjustments. So, house rules again. But it's based off the Anniversary Edition. It has a 41 start setup, and it is a what am I trying to say there? Turn limited. I think if you read in there, I think it's 8 turns, and then the game ends and you have a winner. Whereas the Deluxe 40, is like Global 40. You've got a set of victory conditions that could come along. But now that I think about it, there is a way. I guess we haven't played it to that extent. Usually someone wins or loses by the time you get to the end, but there is a way on the Deluxe version where the victor or the time expires, and the Allies will win if the if the Axis hasn't completed their objectives. But mostly on that Deluxe 40 game, it doesn't go that long. You've got a clear winner, but well before that. The Academy version, I haven't played yet. There's still rules in the working there as well. I think the map is ready, but I am not sure. As soon as the map is completely done, I'll get that. The Deluxe map here, we went through some changes on that, and I've bought 3 maps since we started playing that game and working on that several years ago. So I'm trying to avoid that with the Academy and just get the map when we're at the final stage here, and then we'll go from there. So those are the terms that I'll reference throughout the house rule, and probably out through all the other videos as well. You may have heard me already talk about Deluxe, certainly BBR, the Academy Edition, and of course Global War. I'll reference that because even though it's a standalone game from Axis and Allies, I know that it was really created from Axis and Allies, so it's kind of a house rule game of that. It's well put together, lots of rules, takes a lot of time to play, but I like it. Some people don't. Some people don't want or don't have that kind of time to play it. The BBR is a perfect game for time constraints, whether you're playing the 40 setup or the 42 setup. You know, you get your game done in 5 or 8 turns, and to me that's a good compromise. But you know, honestly, if it's me playing a good 10-hour game, 12-hour game of Global 40, that's perfect. I have no problem playing that long or longer. So anyway, I just wanted to clear up where some of these ideas will be coming from, you know, in the future videos. And hopefully, like I said earlier, the World War I Axis and Allies game 1914, I sure hope that's not going away, because that is a fun game to play. And you know, I have it. It's a matter of fact, it's set up on the other table. My son and some of his friends were playing that this past weekend, and he did not pick it up, so it's still sitting there. I'm going to let it sit there till he gets back from college, and then he can pick it up. Till next time, keep rolling dice.